Hey everybody, it's all about your macronutrient ratios, protein, carbs, and fat. So, first of all, good morning from Mexico. Sitting in a pretty awesome condo here. So what I like to do, a lot of people like to have oatmeal in the morning. I love oatmeal. Now, what I don't want you to do is get into details. What flavor did you use? How much, how this? So I use 3 packs. It's roughly about 60 grams of carbs in the 3 packs. I've got apple. You can use whatever flavor you want. But what's really cool, you'll see. So if I ate this on its own, because there's an apple flavoring in there, there is some sugar in there and stuff like that. And therefore, because of the sugar and stuff, just this on its own wouldn't be that great. So basically, it's because it's high in carbs. These are egg whites. Just plain, simple egg whites, okay? So what it does is it's going to increase my macronutrient ratio. So if I had just the oatmeal, I would have about 60 grams of carbs, maybe 10 grams of protein. I'm going to add in egg whites until it covers the top. So if you look at that, it covers kind of the top of the oatmeal. And I'm going to stir that a little bit. Now, because I'm in Mexico, I wouldn't want to cook it just like this. You need to add some moisture in there because once you cook it, the actual oatmeal oats kind of, suck up a lot of water. So remember, don't drink the water in Mexico. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or so. So you'll see the difference there now. Lots of water. Don't get stuck on the details, how much water, whatever. You'll learn, it's easy. And the reason I don't want you stuck on the details is just do it. So what this makes, you'll see once it's done, is a really awesome oatmeal cake, if you will. It almost, the egg whites kind of harden, and it makes a nice oatmeal paste. Now I'm getting, instead of just 60 grams of carbs and maybe 10 grams of protein, I'm going to be getting about 60 grams of carbs and 60 to 70 grams of protein. So it's giving me a nice 50% carb, 50% protein ratio, and that's not exact, right? Because we know that oatmeal has a lot of essential fats too. So I'm just going to put this in the microwave for 3 minutes. I'm going to sit down and talk to you guys some more about some other tips while that cooks so we can keep it live. So, the key to protein. Let's talk about mostly protein today. We are in an obesity and diabetes epidemic. We know that. What causes that is any type of carbohydrates, okay? Now, of course, the lower the glycemic index, the better. But all carbohydrates, whether it's oatmeal, whether it's fruits, whether it's vegetables, now vegetables are very high in fiber, but they all break down to simple sugar. Our body uses simple sugars as our main source of fuel. When we have sugar in our body, our secondary source of fuel is our fats, right? So if we're eating a high sugar diet, we're getting, or a high carbohydrate diet, scratch the sugar part. It's not that carbohydrates or sugar is bad, it's too many carbohydrates and sugar is bad. So by keeping a 50-50 ratio of protein to carbohydrates, or in that range, it can be, one meal could be 30% protein, 70% carbs, another meal could be 70% protein, 30% carbs. By keeping in that ratio is going to fill you up. And the more protein you eat, it does the opposite of what sugar does. When you eat protein, you release glucagon and other very interesting hormones. The opposite is insulin. So the more protein you eat, this is the hardest part that people just can't seem to get. The more protein you eat, the more fat you burn. The more protein you eat, because it's a building block and not an energy source, the more muscle you build. The more muscle you build, whether you're male or female, the faster your metabolism is. The whole idea to living healthy is moderating your blood sugar, increasing your metabolism, and that's it. When you increase your metabolism 24 hours a day with muscle, then you're burning more calories. It's all about the ratios of not calories, but energy calories, okay? If you eat more energy calories, which are either carbohydrates or fats, if you eat more calories of those than you burn, you're gonna gain weight. If you eat less calories of other carbohydrates or fats, you're going to lose weight. So protein is really not in the mix here, and that's why it's essential and so important, because the other part is, if you're doing any type of exercise at all, if you're doing the 7-minute workouts, the body has a very difficult time manufacturing protein. So you need at least 1 gram per pound of body weight in protein minimum. I always shoot for 2 grams per pound of body weight. So meaning if I'm 230 pounds, I'm always shooting for about 400 to 500 grams of protein per day. Again, the exact amount would be 460 grams of protein. Some days I might only get 350, other days I might get 550. The key is always taking action and being consistent and not getting stuck on the details of how it works and so forth. So that's the key. So 1 gram to 2 grams per pound of body weight in protein, lean body weight, right? See, our oatmeal's cooked, so I'll finish my last thought and show you this meal. Actually, let me just take it out now, otherwise it's going to keep beeping down. It's going to be really hot, so I'll use this. Take it out because it's extremely hot. This is a very powerful microwave. And I'll show you that in a second. Let me finish my thought. So, actually I sort of forgot my thought, but anyway, the more protein you, oh yeah, back to the training. The body cannot manufacture protein, so you need that protein to build the muscle. So it's kind of a 50-50 deal. You can do all the workouts in the world, but if your nutrition's not there, you're gonna get about 10% of the results. If you actually do the training and get your nutrition, that's why, you know, the protein powders are best. When I do analyze somebody's diet and they're not losing weight or they're not building muscle, they're simply not getting to the goals that they want to, they think they're getting a minimum of 1 gram per pound of body weight in protein, and I analyze their diet and they might be getting 30 to 40 grams of protein a day. So, look at how this turns into a really cool cake. I can't eat it right away, but I'll just slide it out. There we go. Make sort of a cake mix, and just to cool it off, so I can cool it off quicker. It's really, really tasty. Now, if you want to use the plain oatmeal, you can. I would advise you adding some fruit in there to give it some flavor. This is an instant oatmeal with apple. It's like an apple flavor. You can use whatever flavor you want. Don't get stuck in the details. This is a perfect meal to start my day. 60 to 70 grams of protein, 60 grams of carbs, and we'll see you guys on your next video.